Out of chaos, the dragon is born. Out of struggle, the code is written. The dragon does not live like the crowd. He does not follow their noise. He moves with precision. He flows with truth. There is a secret that only a few ever realize. You do not adapt to the world. You shape it. The code of the dragon is simple, but deadly powerful. First, destroy limitation. Do not accept the chains others hand you. A chain is only as strong as your belief in it. Break it, and you are free. Second, move like water. Water is not weak. It crushes mountains. It drowns cities. It flows, but it conquers. Third, honor your own truth. The greatest war is not against others. It is against the lies you tell yourself. Face your reflection. Break the mask. Fourth, discipline is freedom. Without discipline, your talents rot. Without self-mastery, you are a puppet. Discipline is the sword that cuts through chaos. Fifth, fear is an illusion. You fear not because something is dangerous, but because you have surrendered your mind. Take your mind back, and you take your life back. Sixth, empty your mind. When you are full of fear, anger, doubt, you are heavy. When you are empty, you are fast, flexible, unstoppable. Seventh, adapt or perish. Life will not wait for you. The dragon does not wait for the storm to pass. He becomes the storm. Eighth, simplicity wins. The complicated man dies confused. The simple man strikes clean. Ninth, express your soul. No imitation, no mimicry. The true warrior speaks his own language through action. 10th, and the final law, live with fire. Lukewarm hearts are forgotten. Those who burn ignite the world. The dragon inside you is not asleep. He is chained. Every excuse you make, every fear you accept, every moment you doubt, the chains grow tighter. But the code is the key. Live it, and the chains fall away. Live it, and the world cannot contain you. The dragon does not chase fame. He does not chase validation. He becomes. In silence, in struggle, in solitude, he sharpens himself into a blade the world cannot ignore. You are not meant to be part of the herd. You are not meant to blend in. You are born to stand out, to rise, to conquer. The code is simple. The path is brutal. The reward is freedom. Now, will you choose the code, or will you choose the cage? Destroy limitation. That's where it all begins. The chains that hold you back are not forged by the world. They are built inside your mind, link by link. Every time you say, I can't. Every time you whisper, maybe later. Every time you look at something you want and convince yourself you are not ready. The prison you think you are trapped in is invisible. The walls are built from fear. The locks are made of doubt. And the key has always been inside you. Look at a river. When a giant rock blocks its path, it doesn't stop. It doesn't say, this is impossible. It doesn't complain or beg someone to move the rock. The river finds a way. It flows around it, crashes through it, or carves a new path over time. That's nature's way. Relentless, patient, unstoppable. Yet you, a creature more powerful than any river, stop at the first sign of difficulty. You say, this job is too much for me. You say, this dream is too big for someone like me. You build your own barriers and then cry about being stuck behind them. Stop. Stop building cages with your own hands. There is a story happening every single day around you. The kid who grew up poor and still hustles every morning before school to learn skills. The mother who works 2 jobs and still comes home with a smile to encourage her children. The man who everyone laughed at, called a fool, but stayed up until 3 a.m. chasing his crazy idea until that idea became a company. and that company became an empire. These are not special people. They are just people who refuse to accept their limitations. You think the champions you admire were handed golden paths. No, they faced mountains too, but they didn't kneel before them. They climbed. They bled. They stumbled. But they climbed. You need to understand something deep today. Limitation is a lie. It's a choice. You can look at a closed door and stand there forever, or you can smash it down. You can stand at the edge of a cliff and curse the distance, or you can build wings from the scraps around you and learn how to fly. You say you are tired. Good. Tired is where the real work begins. Tired is where average men quit and legends are born. You say you are scared. Good. Fear is your signal. It means you are on the edge of something great. Lean into it. Embrace it. Move anyway. Imagine a lion trapped in a small cage. For years, he paces back and forth, believing the cage is all there is. Now imagine the cage door swings open. But the lion stays inside, too used to the prison to realize he's free. That's you. The door is open. Always has been. But you have to take the step. You have to roar again. You have to remember who you are. Next time your mind whispers, "I can't," you answer, "Watch me." Next time someone says, "You're not enough," you smile and say, "You'll see." Next time the road gets rough, you say, "I was built for this." Don't negotiate with your limits. Don't reason with your fears. Crush them. Tear them apart. Fight for the life that is waiting beyond that invisible wall. Your life is not meant to be a slow fade into mediocrity. It is meant to be an explosion of impact, a masterpiece of persistence, a testimony to the fire inside you. And that fire is already burning. It's just waiting for you to remove the lid you placed over it. Every morning you wake up, you are given a new chance to destroy one more limitation, to run a little faster, to think a little bigger, to dare a little more. No one will do it for you. No one is coming to hand you your dream on a silver platter. It's war, and it's personal. You versus you. Remember that moment when you pushed through something you thought would break you. Remember that victory, small or big. That is the real you. Not the excuses, not the doubts, the warrior, the survivor, the conqueror. Limitations are like ghosts. They vanish when you walk straight through them. So don't tiptoe. Don't hesitate. Move like you own the ground you stand on. Move like you were born for greatness. Because you were. The world will try to shrink you. People will try to put you in boxes because it makes them comfortable. Break the box. Smash the labels. Refuse the script they hand you. Write your own story in bold strokes, with grit dripping from every word. Destroy limitation. Don't just talk about it. Don't dream about it. Live it. Breathe it. Become it. In every step you take, in every decision you make, burn it into your spirit so deeply that when people look at you, they see the impossible being made real. And then they will understand. They will understand that the dragon is not a myth. The dragon lives. And it burns through every barrier without mercy. Move like water, not like a rock, not like a wall, not like a heavy, stiff statue chained to the ground. Move like water, because water never loses. Water is not loud, but it is unstoppable. It does not fight the obstacle. It becomes the way. Look around in life. The people who are stuck, who are bitter, who are frustrated beyond measure, are the ones who refused to bend. They stood rigid, proud, unwilling to adapt, and the world crushed them without even noticing. But those who flow, those who adjust, those who find a way through, around, or even under. They thrive. A man gets fired from his job. He can sit and curse the world, curse the company, curse his luck. Or he can move like water. He can use the pressure of that loss to carve a new path, maybe build his own business, maybe chase the passion he abandoned long ago. The one who stands there shouting at the stone wall will tire and fade. The one who moves like water will find a crack, slip through, and keep moving forward. Water does not care about how big the mountain is. It keeps flowing. Day after day, drop after drop, it wears the mountain down. It carves canyons. It reshapes the earth itself. Persistence beats resistance when you move like water. You want to succeed. You want to build a life that people remember. You want to leave behind a name that echoes through time. Then you must become fluid. When something blocks you, you don't stop. You shift, you pivot. You find a new angle of attack. The river never asks permission. It doesn't beg the rocks to move. It does not hold meetings about how unfair it is. It simply adapts. You must do the same. In your career, when plans fall apart, you don't sit and cry over spilled dreams. You adapt. In your relationships, when people change, when seasons change, you don't hold on to dead versions of what once was. You flow into what is becoming. There's a dangerous belief that strength is being hard, being unmovable, being stubborn. But strength is in flexibility. The tree that does not bend in the storm breaks. The one that bends survives, grows, and stands tall after the winds are gone. Everyday life is filled with moments you can use this. Someone insults you. You can freeze, rage, attack back blindly. Or you can flow around it. You can recognize their words are just noise, powerless, unless you give them weight. You can smile, walk forward, untouched. You fail an exam. You can fall into despair, say you are not good enough, give up on your dreams. Or you can move like water. You can adjust your study methods, find your weak points, and come back stronger. You lose someone you love. The pain is real, the hurt is deep. But even then, water teaches you. It teaches you to carry the memories, the lessons, the love itself, and flow forward. Not forgetting, but evolving. Resistance is not your enemy. Resistance is the weight that makes you stronger. But you have to choose how you deal with it. Crash against it and break. Flow with it and rise. You want to achieve the impossible. Then stop being rigid in your mind. Stop thinking life owes you a straight, smooth path. It doesn't. Life is a river. Fast, unpredictable, sometimes wild, sometimes calm, but always moving. You must move with it, or you will drown. You must learn to adjust your dreams without abandoning them. Maybe the path you imagined was straight, but the river curves. Maybe you thought success was one thing, but it transforms into something even greater if you trust the flow. A warrior who moves like water cannot be trapped. You build a wall, he finds a gap. You try to cage him, he seeps through the cracks. You try to block him, he becomes mist and escapes your grasp. That is real strength. That is real mastery. When people insult you, belittle you, doubt you, remember the river does not argue with the rocks. It just moves, quietly, powerfully, patiently, and one day when the rocks are worn down to dust, the river still flows. There are going to be days when you feel everything is working against you, where every door seems closed, where every step forward feels like a battle. Those are the days you must remember to move like water, not by brute force, not by screaming, but by adapting, by shifting, by finding a way no one else can see. The ones who succeed are not the ones who had perfect conditions. They are the ones who built boats when the storms came. They are the ones who learned to swim when the ground disappeared beneath their feet. Water doesn't fear falling. When it falls from the highest cliff, it does not shatter. It forms a mighty waterfall, beautiful and unstoppable. When it is trapped underground, it doesn't die. It becomes a hidden river, finding its way back to the surface, waiting for its moment to burst forth again. Move like water in your thinking. Flow around outdated ideas. Adapt to new realities without losing your core. Stay true to your purpose, but fluid in your approach. Nothing in nature stands still. The oceans, the rivers, the winds, even the blood in your own veins is always moving. To live is to move. To grow is to change. To master life is to master flow. Move like water. In your struggles, in your dreams, in your failures, in your triumphs. Flow patiently when needed. Crash powerfully when it's time, but never, ever stop moving. Honor your truth. In a world that is constantly shouting, constantly pulling, constantly telling you who you should be, what you should believe, how you should live, the greatest act of strength is to stand in silence and honor your own truth. It is easy to follow the crowd, easy to bend yourself into the shape that others expect of you. But that path leads to a life that is hollow, a life that looks good on the outside, but feels like dust on the inside. Every day, you will be tested. People will offer you shortcuts. They will tempt you with approval. They will hand you masks to wear. They will say, speak like this, think like this, move like this. And if you are not anchored in your truth, you will drift like a leaf in a storm. You will live chasing applause that feels sweet for a moment, but leaves you emptier than before. Honoring your truth is not arrogance. It is not stubbornness. It is not rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It is the deep understanding that your life is your own, that your journey is sacred, that no one else can walk it for you. You were not born to live a carbon copy of someone else's dream. You were not created to fit neatly inside someone else's definition of success. Think about the seed buried in the earth. It does not look around and ask the other seeds what it should become. It does not question whether it should bloom as a rose or stretch tall like a pine. It grows into exactly what it was meant to be, because it honors its truth. And because of that, it brings beauty into the world that no other seed could. You must be that seed. You must dare to grow into the shape of your own destiny, even when the world does not understand. Even when the voices around you tell you to shrink, to bend, to conform. Honoring your truth means listening to that small voice inside you, the one that knows when something feels right and when something feels like a slow death. It means having the courage to say no, even when everyone else is saying yes. It means having the bravery to say yes, even when fear is screaming in your ear. There will be moments when honoring your truth feels like walking alone through a storm. When friends turn away because they don't understand the fire inside you. When family doubts your choices. When the world mocks what it cannot comprehend. And in those moments, you must be like the mountain standing firm against the winds, not because you are stubborn, but because you know that losing yourself to please others is the greatest betrayal of all. A man who wakes up every morning, goes to a job he hates, lives a life that feels like chains around his soul, just to gain the approval of people who do not even see his pain, is a man who has abandoned his truth. A woman who stays silent, who swallows her dreams, who dims her light so others can shine, is a woman who has forgotten the power that was placed inside her. Honoring your truth is not selfish. It is the only way to truly give something real to the world. Imagine the artist who hides their paintings because they are afraid no one will understand. Imagine the inventor who keeps their ideas locked away because they fear ridicule. Imagine the dreamer who never takes the first step because they are waiting for permission. The world loses something precious every time someone chooses fear over truth. You must fight for your truth, not with violence, not with anger, but with unwavering presence. Every time you choose authenticity over approval, you become a light in a dark world. Every time you speak your truth with kindness and strength, you give others permission to do the same. Every time you walk your path with conviction, you show someone else that they too can be brave. Look around you. The world is full of noise, full of distractions, full of glittering traps that promise happiness but deliver emptiness. The only compass you can trust is the one beating inside your chest. Honor it. Listen to it. Follow it, even when the path is hard, even when it is lonely, even when it demands sacrifices that make your heart ache. In your daily life, when the choice comes between fitting in and standing tall, choose to stand. When the moment comes to agree with something that feels wrong in your gut, choose to walk away. When you feel the pressure to live a life that others want for you, remember that your breath is your own. Your dreams are your own. Your soul is your own. Honor your truth even when it is inconvenient. Honor it when it costs you comfort. Honor it when it demands you step into the unknown. The reward is not always immediate. Sometimes it feels like the whole world is punishing you for daring to be yourself. But over time, truth carves a path that no lie can ever erase. The person who honors their truth walks through life with a lightness that others will envy, but never fully understand. Because there is a power that comes from within, a fire that burns through doubt, through fear, through the weight of the world's expectations. And that fire can never be extinguished by anyone outside of you. Honor your truth in the way you speak, in the way you love, in the way you build, in the way you dream. Let your actions align with the quiet strength inside you. Let your dreams be born from your own heart, not borrowed from someone else's idea of success. Let your steps be guided by your spirit, not by the shifting tides of opinion around you. The world doesn't need more copies. It doesn't need more followers of the same broken paths. It needs you. It needs the version of you that is unfiltered, unafraid, and unapologetically real. Honor your truth, and you will not only find your own freedom, you will light the way for others who are still trapped in cages built from fear and doubt. Discipline is freedom. Most people think discipline is a cage, a set of chains around their life, a constant punishment. They see it as something that takes away joy, strips away spontaneity, and replaces it with endless rules. But they are wrong. Discipline is not a prison. It is the very thing that sets you free. The person without discipline is a slave to their impulses, a prisoner of their emotions, a victim of their own mind. They wake up every day at the mercy of their mood, tossed around by the chaos of the world, like a leaf in a raging river. The one who understands discipline wakes up with purpose. They do not wait to feel like doing something. They do it because it must be done. They do not negotiate with their mind. They do not make excuses. They do not delay, because they know that on the other side of discipline is power, mastery, and freedom. The freedom to live life on their own terms. The freedom to become who they were meant to be. Think about the man who decides he will train every morning before the sun rises. At first, it feels hard. His body aches, his mind screams for the comfort of the bed, but he pushes through, day after day, until one morning he wakes up and feels a fire inside him, a strength that was not there before. While others are still lost in sleep, he is building an empire within himself. He is free from weakness, free from excuses, free from regret. Imagine the woman who decides she will master a craft, while others waste hours scrolling, complaining, procrastinating. She sits down every day, without fail, and works. She sharpens her skill, polishes her talent, chisels away at her dreams, and slowly, what was once impossible becomes inevitable. While others are trapped by their distractions, she is free to create, free to rise, free to own her destiny. Discipline is the silent architect behind every masterpiece. It is the invisible force that carries the runner to the finish line when his lungs are burning. It is the unseen hand that lifts the fighter back to his feet after he has been knocked down. It is the quiet voice that says, just one more step, just one more rep, just one more hour, when everything inside you is begging you to quit. Without discipline, life becomes a series of unfinished projects, broken promises, and wasted potential. How many times have you seen someone with incredible talent, incredible gifts, and yet they go nowhere because they cannot control themselves? They wait for motivation. They wait for inspiration. They wait for some magical feeling to move them into action. But feelings are unreliable. Discipline is steady. When you practice discipline, you are training your mind to be your ally instead of your enemy. You are forging an unbreakable alliance between your body and your spirit. You are building the kind of internal fortress that no hardship, no failure, no rejection can tear down. When you have discipline, you can endure boredom, overcome fear, smash through pain, and keep moving forward when everyone else has given up. Think about the everyday battles. The decision to wake up early and work on your dreams before the world even stirs. The choice to eat foods that fuel your body instead of poison it. The moment you decide to study when your friends are partying. The instant you choose to keep your word, not because someone is watching, but because your soul demands it. Every small act of discipline is a brick laid in the foundation of your future freedom. People say they want freedom, but they misunderstand it. They think freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you want. But that kind of false freedom leads to destruction. The freedom to eat anything without control leads to sickness. The freedom to spend without restraint leads to debt. The freedom to speak without thought leads to broken relationships. Real freedom is the ability to choose what is good for you even when it is hard. Real freedom is the ability to delay gratification now for a greater reward later. Picture the musician who plays a masterpiece on stage. The crowd cheers. They only see the brilliance of the performance. They do not see the thousands of hours spent in lonely rooms, fingers bleeding, ears aching, mind frustrated, pushing past mistake after mistake. That is discipline. And that is what gives the musician the freedom to stand on stage and create magic. Discipline is the ability to look in the mirror and say, I will not betray myself today. I will not sell out my future for the comfort of the moment. I will not let my weakness dictate my destiny. I will master my mind, master my body, master my time, not for anyone else, for me. Because I am building a life that is my own. Because I am carving a path that others are too afraid to walk. There will be days when you don't feel like it. When everything inside you screams for an easier way. When the temptation to quit feels like a storm battering your mind. And in those moments, discipline is your sword and shield. It is the voice that cuts through the noise and says, remember why you started. Remember who you are. Remember what you are fighting for. Discipline turns dreams into reality. It transforms weakness into strength. It molds chaos into order. It turns average into legendary. And once you taste the power of living with discipline, you will never want to live any other way again. You will not need external motivation. You will not chase fleeting pleasures. You will have something greater. The quiet, unshakable strength of a person who knows they are the master of their fate. The captain of their soul. Fear is an illusion. It feels real. It grips your chest. It clouds your mind. It makes your hands sweat and your legs tremble. But it is smoke without fire. It is a shadow without substance. Fear is the thief that steals your dreams before you even take a step toward them. It whispers in your ear that you are not ready, not strong enough, not smart enough, not worthy. But what is fear really made of? It is made of what-ifs. It is made of worst-case scenarios that almost never happen. It is made of memories from the past and lies about the future. Fear cannot touch you unless you bow to it. Think about a child learning to walk. They stumble, they fall, they cry, but they do not stop. They do not say, walking is too scary, falling hurts too much. They stand up again, they try again, because at that moment, their desire to move forward is stronger than their fear of falling. Somewhere along the way, people forget that. They grow up and become prisoners of comfort. They stay in safe places. They avoid risks. They trade their wild dreams for predictable routines. Not because they are weak, but because they believe the illusion that fear is real. Picture this. You are standing at the edge of a diving board. The water below you is clear, inviting. Your heart races. Your mind starts to scream, what if you slip? What if you belly flop? What if everyone laughs? But if you silence the noise, if you lean just a little forward and let go, you fall into the water and realize it wasn't so bad. You rise to the surface with laughter, not regret. That is life. Fear tries to freeze you at the edge, but freedom comes from jumping anyway. The person who conquers fear does not wait for it to disappear. They act in spite of it. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is dancing with it, wrestling it, using its energy to propel you forward. Every great warrior felt fear. Every great leader felt fear. Every great innovator, artist, fighter, champion felt that tightness in their chest. But they did not surrender to it. They moved anyway. They spoke anyway. They fought anyway. And on the other side of that action, they found a power they did not even know they had. Look at the person who starts their own business. Fear tells them they might fail, might lose money, might be laughed at, but they build anyway, day by day, brick by brick, while others are paralyzed by what-ifs. They create something that never existed before. And even if they fall, even if they stumble, they are further ahead than the one who never even tried, because they faced the dragon and realized it was just a shadow on the wall. Think about love. How many people never say how they feel because fear locks their heart in a cage? Fear says, what if they reject you? What if they don't feel the same? And so people live with the regret of unspoken words instead of the pain of a moment's courage. But imagine if they just said it. Imagine the life that could have been born from a few brave words. Fear is like a mirage in the desert. From far away, it looks huge, menacing, impossible to cross. But when you walk toward it, when you stare it in the eye, it disappears. The obstacle was never really there. The chains were never really locked. The prison door was never truly closed. It was your mind that built it, and it is your mind that can tear it down. There will be moments when fear grips you so tightly that it feels like you cannot breathe. Moments when the mountain ahead looks too high, too steep, too cruel. In those moments, you must remember this truth. Fear is not a wall. Fear is a veil, and behind that veil is the life you have been dreaming of. If you are willing to push through, if you are willing to take one step, then another, you will see the illusion fade like mist under the morning sun. Daily life is full of moments to destroy fear. Speaking up in a meeting, trying something new, asking for what you deserve, setting a boundary, standing up for yourself. Every small act of courage chips away at the illusion. Every time you move through fear, you grow bigger and the fear grows smaller. Until one day, you look back and wonder why you ever let it stop you at all. The mind will always create stories. It is its nature. It will invent dangers where there are none. It will replay past failures as warnings. It will magnify small risks into towering threats. But you are not your mind. You are the awareness behind it. You have the power to smile at fear, to bow respectfully to it, and then move past it without hesitation. Fear loses its grip when you act faster than it can speak. Do not wait for the fear to leave. It will not. Move anyway, speak anyway, leap anyway. Because the truth is, you are stronger than you think. You are braver than you believe. And the life you dream of is waiting just beyond the lies that fear tells you. Every second you delay, fear wins a little more ground. Every step you take, you reclaim it. The world belongs to those who understand that fear is just noise. The dreamers, the warriors, the builders, the lovers, the creators. They all hear the same noise. They just choose not to obey it. They move with fear at their side, but they do not let it drive. They choose action. They choose life. They choose freedom. And every time they do, the illusion shatters a little more. Empty your mind. Be formless like water. When you pour water into a cup, it becomes the cup. When you pour water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. Water can flow or it can crash. If you want to truly live, you must learn to be like water. Too often the mind becomes crowded, packed with opinions, fears, memories, doubts, and the noise of 1,000 voices that are not even your own. You carry around what others said about you, what the world expects of you, what your past mistakes whisper to you. And because of all that noise, you forget your true power. Imagine a glass filled to the brim with dirty water. No matter how much clean water you try to pour in, it stays murky. Now imagine if you emptied the glass completely. Now, when the clean water pours in, it remains pure and clear. Your mind is that glass. When it is full of opinions, judgments, and fear, there is no room for wisdom, no space for creativity, no pathway for true strength to emerge. But when you empty your mind, even for a moment, you become limitless. You become open to whatever form life asks you to take. Think about daily life. You sit in traffic, and the mind rages. You wait in line, and the mind complains. Someone speaks rudely to you, and the mind reacts with anger. But what if you emptied it? What if you allowed the moment to simply be what it is, without labeling it, without resisting it, without clinging to it? Suddenly, traffic is no longer suffering. It's time to breathe. A long line becomes a moment of stillness. A rude word becomes meaningless, just wind passing by. Because nothing sticks to an empty mind. It flows. The warrior trains not to have the fastest punch, but to have no mind when he punches. No thought of winning, no thought of losing, no thought of himself. Just action, just flow. When the mind is empty, instinct takes over, and instinct is lightning fast. It is pure, it is untouchable. Hesitation only exists when the mind is busy. Fear only exists when the mind is crowded. Doubt only exists when the mind is holding on to too much. When you let go, you become unstoppable. Every day you face situations where the mind wants to grab on. A setback at work makes you think you are a failure. A missed opportunity makes you believe you are unlucky. A betrayal from someone you trusted makes you decide never to open your heart again. But these are all forms your mind has created. They are stories, not truth. If you hold on to them, you carry unnecessary weight. It's like trying to run with chains around your ankles. Empty your mind, and you drop the chains. You move freely again. Picture a river flowing down a mountain. It doesn't stop when it hits a rock. It doesn't cry out, "Why is there an obstacle?" It simply moves around it, over it, under it. It keeps moving. The river's mind is empty, and because of that, it is powerful beyond measure. Eventually, it wears down mountains themselves. Your life is the river. Your obstacles are the rocks. If your mind is rigid, you crash into every rock. You feel pain with every turn. But if your mind is empty, you adapt. You move. You overcome without force. Someone insults you. The rigid mind reacts, feels hurt, builds a grudge. The empty mind hears the words, sees they are meaningless, and moves on without a scratch. Someone praises you. The rigid mind clings to it, depends on it for self-worth. The empty mind smiles, appreciates, but is not defined by it. You are not what people say. You are not what happens to you. You are the awareness that moves through it all. The less you hold, the freer you are. Imagine if every morning you woke up with an empty mind, no leftover worries from yesterday, no lingering anger, no self-pity, just a clear, open space. Every decision would be sharper. Every movement would be lighter. Every challenge would feel smaller. You would no longer be reacting to life. You would be creating it. You would no longer be driven by fear or pride or regret. You would be driven only by the truth of the moment, the reality in front of you, the pure energy of being alive in the gym. The fighter who thinks too much loses. He wonders, should I dodge left or right? Should I strike now or wait? He hesitates, and he is struck. But the fighter with an empty mind moves with grace. He feels his opponent's rhythm like a musician feels the beat. He strikes without thinking. He defends without planning. He flows. He wins not by thinking faster, but by thinking less, by being present, by being formless in everyday life. The same principle rules. When facing a challenge, don't crowd your mind with panic. Don't fill it with negative predictions. Empty it. See clearly what is in front of you. Respond from the truth of the moment, not from the ghosts of your fears. If a door closes, do not waste time cursing it. Empty your mind and look for the window that is opening. If someone betrays you, do not lock your heart. Empty your mind and remember that their action does not define your capacity to love. Life will always change, flow, crash, rise. The only way to master it is to empty yourself and move with it. The mind loves to predict, to judge, to cling. But none of those things make you stronger. None of those things help you. They only trap you in cages of your own making. Freedom, real freedom, comes from emptiness, from being able to walk into any room, face any situation, meet any person, and remain untouched, unchained, unshaken. Not because you are numb, but because you are free. Emptiness is not weakness. Emptiness is strength. It means you cannot be bent because you have no fixed shape. It means you cannot be broken because you have no rigid edges. It means you can fit anywhere, survive anything, rise above everything. Empty your mind, and you will know what it means to truly live. You have walked through the storms of your mind. You have seen the chains that once held you, and you have felt the power of letting go. Now understand this. The moment you decide to free yourself, the universe responds. The moment you stop fighting the current, you become the current. Greatness is not something you chase. It is something you attract by the person you become. The world will tell you to be strong like a mountain, but I tell you, be fluid like water, because water cuts through mountains with time. There is a quiet power in those who do not scream for attention. There is an unstoppable force in those who do not cling to outcomes. The empty mind is not a weak mind. It is a prepared mind. It is the mind of the warrior who knows he needs no audience, no applause, no validation. He needs only to move, to act, to live, to flow. The man who conquers himself is greater than the man who conquers 1,000 enemies. Real battles are not fought in the streets. They are fought in the silent corners of your mind, where doubt tries to take root. Every scar on your heart is not a wound, it is a lesson. Every fall you have taken is not failure, it is training. Every betrayal you have survived is not loss, it is preparation. Do not curse the moments that broke you. Thank them, because every broken piece you gather makes you sharper, stronger, more unstoppable. The arrow only flies after the string is pulled back with force. Sometimes life pulls you back so that it can launch you to places you never dreamed of reaching. People spend their lives worrying about things they cannot control. But freedom begins the moment you realize you are not here to control the storm. You are here to become the storm. You are not here to hide from pain. You are here to rise through it. You are not here to fit into a mold. You are here to shatter every mold they tried to put you in. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for life to hand you what you want. Life owes you nothing. You owe everything to the fire inside you that refuses to go out. When you empty your mind, you make room for greatness. When you stop clutching to fear, you make room for courage. When you release the need to control, you allow mastery to rise. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to see the entire path. You only need to take one step forward, and then another, and then another. And soon, you are not just walking a path. You are creating one. Your footsteps are carving trails where there were none before. Remember, the tiger does not lose sleep over the opinion of sheep. The eagle does not ask the sparrow how to fly. You are not here to be small, to be afraid, to be silent. You are here to move with power, with grace, with the silent confidence of someone who knows who they are without needing anyone else to understand it. Be like water. When they build walls, flow around them. When they dig pits, pour in and rise. When they try to hold you down, slip through their fingers. When they doubt you, become the flood they cannot stop. There will be moments when you feel empty, and you will think it is a curse. But it is a gift, because when you are empty, you are free. Free to adapt, free to create, free to become anything. In emptiness, there is no limit. In emptiness, there is pure potential. Do not fear the silence inside you. That silence is where legends are born, so go now. Not as someone who needs to be told what to do, but as someone who knows they can shape the world just by existing fully. Move with purpose, speak with power, act without fear, and flow without limits. Remember, the man who becomes like water holds the code of the dragon within him, silent, formless, powerful beyond words. Be that man. Be that force. Be unstoppable.